Well, good morning, and what a fine morning it is. So today, I'm going to get the Cadillac started. So to that end, yeah, got to get this Cadillac out. I've got to clear all the stuff from underneath it, on top of it. Yeah, the stuff that I've got in here, which is what I've started to take off that. So a bit of work to do just to get to the point I can actually start the Caddy and get it driven out. And then it's just a bit of a chew trying to swap it all around because, yeah, I've got to move all that out the way. And I'm either going to move that across it, but bear in mind this doesn't move. I've got to push it by hand or pull it by tow ropes or whatever. So I can get it pulled up out the drive, all right, I guess. Drive the Cadillac out and put the Cadillac there, and then just this will freewheel straight into the garage. Yeah, so I can lift it out with my engine crane, which sits there. Pity it wasn't at the. Pity it wasn't outside here on a bar. That might be something for the future, actually. Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, cracking on. Dilly. Right, so that's me and George sorted the Caddy out, ready to rock. Took everything off her from on top and underneath. The Grandland, just need to get the wheels on. Plan is we're going to pull the Grandland up using our lasses cart at the top of the drive. We're going to start the old girl, hopefully. Drive her out, and she's going to go there. As you can see, the bus has miraculously disappeared. Bit of Paul Daniels there. So let's crack on, dilly. Right, what I'm going to do is straight off the bat just try and start her up, see what happens. At least it'll get the oil gun around the engine. I'm not hopeful it will start. The next thing after that, if it doesn't, pop the bonnet, fresh fuel in the filter, and then hopefully fire her up. I don't know if the battery's any good neither, but yeah, I suspected. At least she fired out any bother, so the oil will have started to circulate a bit. Let's get some fresh fuel in her. Maybe there's a battery pack as well. Okay, fresh fuel in. I've opened the choke a bit manually. Give it another go. The battery's not great, so it may or may not start. Right, quick battery swap, and then we'll try again round 3. Right, so yeah, I've refilled the fuel filter again, poured a bit of fuel into the carb, pumped it a bit. Yeah, the fuel filter's been taking quite a bit of fuel in, so hopefully the bowls are full now. Let's see what happens. Happy days. Right, we've got to start it up again. She's idling fine there now. Yeah, still running a bit rich, but we'll sort that out, no bother. Dilly. Ah, you can't beat the smell of a V8 like.
How long is it?
Spanner.
Spanner.
when I was a younger man. Pissing out that low now.
Oh. Mm.
You know, that seems to be filling up an awful lot. That shouldn't be full up to there. Because the float should knock it off. Or would it? No, the float would knock it off into the jet, so that should be alright, I think.
Get some black mass on it.
I mean, it's not a bad, it's a good fit, that, you know. This fitting's gone. But what it did have on there was like a felt washer rather than a copper washer.
Oh,
Like compressed cardboard type, you know what I mean? So it was, yeah. So maybe it's to take up any imperfections on the face, so you can't really use a copper washer because it would have to be totally like machined flat. So I don't know. The only other thing I could try is put a rubber O-ring on.
Good idea. Yeah.
I would just have to tighten that up fully onto there first. No, I wouldn't be able to, would I? Well, I'll just tighten that up, put the rubber O-ring on, and then I would have to hold that while I tighten that, otherwise, because I don't want to over-tighten it with a rubber O-ring on. Let's try that.
Yeah.
And that'll be tight enough for that. Right.
Oh.
Right, don't test and adjust. Keep it like a shot. Right, need to close the old flap.
The fuel, it hasn't changed in the bowl.
Can't leave it for another day.
Right. Right.
Right, there's not wrong. It's not mechanical because the engine's turning over fine. So, I mean, I stripped it down once when it was parked there for years.
Right. Has it been there for years?
Well, it was only a couple of months. And I stripped it down, then cleaned it, put fresh fuel in the balls and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think just sitting,
Aye.
not doing it all good, like.
Oh, word.
Well, would you believe it? A little bit of Cadillac maintenance. Yes, this is the old tank. It was, you know, blasted and everything, and I sprayed it with Raptor and stuff, but as you can see, the Raptor's peeling off and it leaked. There was loads of holes in it that I filled with like, it was like a epoxy resin kind of stuff, but it didn't work. When I had this a full tank, it leaked fuel fairly. I remember when I took it, when I was originally getting me leather seats done, but up at Chilton, that was a saga and a half, if anybody remembers that. But yeah, I'd filled a full tank. When I got his and took it off the low loader, it was pissing fuel out everywhere. Time to put the new tank on. The new tank I've got isn't as big as this one, 20 litres less, but I'll show you it anyway once I get it out and swap all this over. So I've got the sender unit to change over, reseal, and that's pretty much it really. Go back on, then that's a job done. Dilly dilly. Right, good job done. It's not as straightforward as you'd think, but anyway, she's on. Outfitted. Old tank drained. Got about 4 litres out of it. Obviously used the gauze filter just so I didn't get any crap in there, which I'm pleased I did, because it was quite a bit. Yeah, so fantastic. Although that fuel's about 4 years old, maybe more. I'm going to put that back in, so I'm going to mix it with some fresh stuff anyway. It did stop running. I was wondering why, and yeah, it was the obvious. I'd run out of fuel. So there we go. Right, as I say, one job done to tick off, dilly dilly. Right, I've just had to remortgage the house to go get 20 litres of Supreme unleaded, because this thing doesn't run on E10. Unfortunately, with it being carburettor and old, it'll nat the carburettor up for sure. So for the amount of times it will go out, it's worth putting in the good stuff. However, putting in the good stuff means it runs good. I mean, listen to this. That's just awesome. Sounding amazing. Just makes so much difference with good fueling. That stuff that's been in there, as I say, 4.5 years or whatever. So yeah, running sweet, dilly dilly.